Scene. Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Blockchain Report, where we discuss all things blockchain technology, digital assets, DeFi, NFTs, and much more. Today, we'll be diving into some news, going over the markets a little bit, and kind of talking about the FTX fallout, what's still happening with that. Is SBF still hiding? Has he been captured yet? And also, big news with BlockFi. They are the next to declare bankruptcy, and yeah, it hasn't been a great month for crypto, but a great month for getting low prices. So if you're into getting some crypto on sale, this is now the time to start. We'll go ahead and look at Bitcoin. We haven't really been just kind of ranging for almost the whole month, maybe like the first week. But ever since then, since the big FTX fallout, just been in this $2,000 range, $15,500 to $1,500 range. Wow, it's amazing. You can tell that there's just a lot of uncertainty when you see this for such a long time. I mean, even here, sideways for months, not sure what's going to happen. Then you have the big FTX fallout. Now you have more companies, like we'll talk about later, BlockFi, filing for bankruptcy. Just not really sure where everything's going. I don't want to do that. And right here, this line is the next rate hike. I believe FOMC meeting. Yeah, 14th and 15th. So that'll be right here, 14, 15. So what can we see? Are we going to see a little pump before then? I think we got to get a relief rally. You got the RSI coming up above the VWAP, bouncing off a little bit. And you could say, yeah, this does look like a bullish divergence. And what is a bullish divergence? It is where, I won't use that because I'll keep that right here, the price. Technically, it's a downtrend because this is a lower low than this. And you also got, I'm going to zoom this up a little bit. Where this low is, you have a low right here. Where this low is, you have a higher low. So if you have a lower low on the charts like this, bounce, lower low, even if it's just a little bit, it's better than, it's not the best bullish divergence, because you really want to see this drop down a little more. But this looks good. You know, your momentum's going up, and as price is going down, generally a good sign that it could bounce, reverse, whether that's going to be a short scalp or if it's going to bounce all the way up to 19K. I mean, that would be about halfway retracement. That's what you usually want to see, is to retrace about halfway back from the past drop. And that would be a pretty good sign right here. Let's look at the volume. Yeah, okay, 19.1. So this is the point of control. This line right here is where the highest amount of volume is at. So if you break this, like what we did here, and you see this very little volume right here, that's not enough to hold the price up. Normally happens, you'll drop down to this lower point of control and kind of range right there. If we can get a break up, about above 17 and hold, we could bounce back up, try and test this 19K resistance. Yeah, but that's generally a good sign. You see some bullish divergence. Be good for a retracement. Let's check the 4-hour. Yeah. See, that's right here is where you really wanted to get in. Not quite. But yeah, it's strong on the daily or medium on the daily. Strong would be if this low was down here, that would be strong divergence. This is just kind of, we're indecisive about going down, even though the momentum's still going up, but could be a good place to do a dip buy. But this is not financial advice. Please do not take any of this as financial advice. This is entertainment purposes only. The Ethereum, yeah, we're still in this downtrend. The Bitcoin, gotta break out. If we can't hold this, I mean, there's still a long way to go down here. But if you're interested in making some transactions, swapping some tokens, ETH gas is pretty low. And if you didn't know, I posted a video this morning on Etherscan. Oh, hello. I'm doing a series on a beginner's guide to the blockchain ecosystem. Kind of went over Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm diving into Ethereum right now. That's the first ecosystem that I'm really covering. Did a video last week about decentralized finance, some of the applications there, utility use cases, and this morning I posted a video talking about the Etherscan, Ethereum Block Explorer, just kind of giving you an overview, a run through of what Etherscan is, how to use it, how to look through the different features or sift through the different features, learn about transactions and timestamp transactions, and looking through different blocks, and it was actually a lot of fun. Helped me get a little bit more familiar with the ins and outs of the Block Explorer. But yeah, check that out. And into some news. Biggest news since the whole FTX fallout, BlockFi files for bankruptcy, cites FTX collapse for its troubles. Crypto lender was previously rescued by FTX following Terra's stablecoin collapse. BlockFi announced on November 28th that it filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The filing in the United States Bankruptcy Court for the District of New Jersey pertains to the company and its 8 subsidiaries. The move comes after several days of speculation on the company's financial health after the collapse of FTX. According to the statement, BlockFi has $256.9 million on hand. It has filed motions to pay employee wages and continue employee benefits without disruption. It also seeks to establish a key employee retention plan to ensure the company retains trained internal resources for business-critical functions and has created an internal plan to reduce expenses. BlockFi International also filed for bankruptcy with the Supreme Court of Bermuda. So FTX US received a $400 million credit line at the end of June, lending to worries after the FTX collapse that BlockFi's exposure would cause it to experience a liquidity crisis, and BlockFi halted withdrawals on November 11th. Since then, the company updated their statement, said since the pause, their team has explored every strategic option and alternative available to us and has remained laser-focused on our primary objective of doing the best we can for our clients. These Chapter 11 cases will enable BlockFi to stabilize the business and provide BlockFi with the opportunity to consummate and a reorganization plan that maximizes value for all stakeholders, including our valued clients. They also tweeted, as part of our restructuring efforts, we will focus on recovering all obligations owed to by BlockFi by counterparties, including FTX. Which I don't think that'll happen, but and here's a little bit interesting. The list of top 50 creditors filed in the court documents, unsecured claims range from $275 million to West Realm Shires Inc., FTX US, which is FTX US, to almost $1 million to an unidentified creditor. It shows a debt of $30 million to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, which this is great. This is great. BlockFi reached a settlement with, with the SEC for $100 million in February for failing to register accounts the SEC deemed securities. West Realm Shires and the SEC were listed by name in the document and was Ancora Trust, which provides corporate trust services in distressed situations. And so BlockFi just deleted their team page. Leave it here. Remember, not your keys, not your coins. I'm not going to open that. And there's a whole, I don't even know how to describe it, a whole shit show with this. Let's call it what it is, a shit show where BlockFi was forced to pay the SEC money, and they're trying to figure out whether or not this money was part of FTX's money that they gave BlockFi. And if it is, then the SEC would have taken fraudulent money. And there's the whole thing with that, but it's very interesting, very interesting. Now, we're gonna move on to some more FTX news, and I guess Sam Bankman-Fried, there was an interview that came out with I don't even know who this is. I'm just going to pause this right here. Tiffany Fong. I don't know who Tiffany Fong is, but she posted it this morning, and I guess this was on a call from the 15th or the 16th of, what does it say? On the November 13th, just 2 days after he filed for bankruptcy protection. So she says, in this phone call interview, Sam Bankman-Fried, or SBF, former CEO and founder of FTX, chats with me about filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, the alleged backdoor, the use of FTT as collateral, ties to the Democratic Party, laundering Ukraine money, the insolvency of FTX US, lawyers, and the jurisdictional battle ahead, as well as his next steps forward. So you can go ahead and listen to that. But he says he unpaused Bohemian FTX withdrawals to appease local customers and added his lawyers to the groups of people he said go fuck themselves. You can check that out. There was let me check my history real quick. Yeah. So this wonderful person gave a little rundown. Just listen to the full audio of a phone call with Sam Bankman-Fried, his only recorded interview since FTX declared bankruptcy. Here's what Sam said in the thread. The call was from November 16th. Okay, the entire audio was just posted on YouTube. Said Sam says that the claims about him being the largest Democratic donor are misleading. He claims to have donated equally to both sides, but many donations to Republicans were dark money that didn't have to be disclosed. He said that he did that intentionally, that he intentionally made Democratic donations publicly because the media has a liberal bias and would be more favorable to him, but he still made donations to Republicans in order to gain influence on both sides of the aisle. And this I can believe, because this has been shown over and over again, that if you make donations to one side, you can be more favorable than making donations to the other side. So Tiffany asked about the alleged backdoor that allowed him to take money out of FTX without anyone else at the company being alerted. He said that that's completely untrue and said that he actually doesn't know how to code or even use FTX's backend. Sam said FTX's accounting systems were poorly labeled, which caused him to be wrong on FTX's liabilities and assets by an embarrassingly large number. But he insists that the entire fiasco was caused by lazy accounting and internal controls, but not fraud. When FTX first started, customer wire transfers into the exchange went to Alameda by default just because FTX didn't have its own bank account yet. Sam told Tiffany that the accounting error was caused by this arrangement that wasn't properly fixed later. Sam also said that filing for bankruptcy was a mistake. I honest to God believe that if I hadn't filed for bankruptcy, all users would be whole and withdrawals would be on. Why? Because $4 billion in liquidity appeared just 8 fucking minutes after FTX filed for bankruptcy. And then Sam claims that he was trying to hand the $4 billion over, but the trustees of the estate would rather burn it all to the ground out of shame than try to fix the situation. He also claims that he's fighting a jurisdictional battle between countries to resolve everything for customers. In the call, Sam paints himself as the hero trying to do the right thing, but the bureaucratic establishment just won't let him. Yeah, okay. He says that FTX U.S. customers will get a penny on the dollar, and FTX international customers will get 20 to 50 cents on the dollar if he doesn't help anymore. He implies that he could get customers a much higher amount if the trustees allowed him to help. However, Sam seems to be stretching the truth to make himself look better. Says FTX customers can be made whole, but he's using FTX token or FTT values from before it crashed. FTX's large FTT position can't be liquidated without crashing the price further. He also has an issue with how everyone online has been dissecting his personal life. He said in the call that people don't care about the true boring story and are instead wasting their time discussing the FTX employee living in the shared penthouse or polyamorous. Now, you say that this isn't fraud. If he doesn't believe this is fraud, he created a token to inflate a synthetic token. And not only that, but there were other projects that they were directly involved with that when the token was launched for that project, they as in Alameda and FTX, they were the market makers. They pumped the price up. And once the token launched on other exchanges, FTX was able to short the token down because of the overinflated price. And there wasn't enough liquidity to keep all of these exchanges, to keep the price up when all of these exchanges opened up. So this guy's a fucking fraud. He's a fraud. That whole team that he worked with, everybody, it's fraud. You can't just create synthetic assets and inflate the price and steal from other projects and destroy other projects and think that you're doing good. Nah, man. This guy needs to have okay, yeah. I'm just gonna touch on these real quick because I want to talk about BitBoy. BitBoy's been down in the Bahamas doing some wild shit, but apparently Singapore government is in the hot seat over the FTX collapse. Yeah, the Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister and some other people, I believe. Oh yeah, the Singapore Prime Minister and the ruling government. They're trying to figure out why this happened and how they didn't protect retail investors. So that's happening, and then you got Alameda withdrawing $204 million ahead of bankruptcy filing, which is just, what are you guys doing? So crazy. So crazy. Okay, and this is just FTX US. Flows 2 entities from FTX US. Yep. Yep. Crazy, man. They don't care. They don't care. Now, before I go into the last couple little things, so BitBoy has been down in the Bahamas. He went to he went to where Sam Bankman-Fried is living. See the little picture right here, and they want to get an interview.
Now, there was a Washington Post article that said that Sam.
Actually, I'll just let him play it for you right here.
At One Cable Beach. Now, there was a Washington Post article that said that Sam Bankman-Fried's parents owned a property here. We just got some really interesting information since we've been here. Someone came out and started talking to us. Apparently, there was one unit at One Cable Beach that they rented. They didn't even buy it. So there's a lot of discrepancies on this real estate that they own, and they've done it with some shell companies and stuff like that, so it's hard to really know what they have. We've been told they did not have a whole floor. They did not have a penthouse. They had one unit here, and we're still trying to figure out where is this $121 million worth of real estate that they have.
Yeah, so they're out there. He's got a team, and they're trying to get an interview with Sam. And they're also, at first it seemed like he was just going down there to ruffle some feathers and to get Sam and, kind of push him around a bit. But he just wants to get an interview, and it looks like he was able to set that up. He said, SBF and I have agreed to do Twitter Spaces within the next 2 weeks. He has unblocked me on Twitter, so now you can confirm we have spoken. I look forward to getting the answers to questions the community must have to move forward. So that is a big, big deal. And also, Deltec Bank, he also went to the location of the Tether office, USDT. This right here, USDT. As I guess there's been a lot of FUD on USDT and whether or not they actually are operating in places they say they are. There's some speculation at some office building in the Bahamas that belongs to Tether was empty, and they were down there investigating, and they found out that the building is being renovated and they have a temporary office somewhere else. So Deltec Bank, I guess, is one of the big players with Tether. I don't know the whole backstory behind that. But he's setting up an interview with them. And so that'll be ready. So he's down there with the whole team just doing some pretty interesting work. I mean, it's just crazy, pure amateur, well, not amateur, but amateurish, just fly by the seat of your pants journalism where you just go down there and you want to be boots on the ground. And yeah, and he was down there for a few days trying to get a hold of him out in front of the buildings. So it's Deltec is the bank of Alameda Research and Tether. So they've got interviews coming with them, with Deltec. He's got an interview coming with SBF. I mean, this is really cool. This is really cool. Got to get some answers, man. Got to get some answers. But the last couple of things, Aave temporarily freezes lending markets to fend off further attacks. and not the whole lending market. There's 12 Ethereum-based tokens and 5 stable coins, ones that have low liquidity and considered to be volatile. They are Urine Finance, Curve, 0x, Decentraland, 1inch, Basic Attention Token, Engine, Ampleforth, and DeFi Pulse, Renfill, Maker, and Xsushi. Apart from these, the protocol also suspended the following stablecoins: SUSD, it's a synthetic, I believe, Pax Dollar, Liquidity, USD, Gemini Dollar, and RAI. With assets frozen, users cannot take loans on the assets or deposit their assets to the protocol. Reduces the risk for Aave v2 and promote the eventual migration to v3. So some of that, not to be alarmed. And Bitcoin miner capitulation. This is supposedly the telltale sign that we have officially bottomed. When the miners finally capitulate and sell because they cannot keep up the paying the cost of their miners, the electricity. So Bitcoin prepares to exit a grim November. What could be on the menu for Bitcoin price this week? In the time of what analyst Willy Woo has called unprecedented deleveraging, Bitcoin is far from out of the woods after losing 20% this month. The impact of FTX implosion remains unknown, and warning signs continue to flow in even after the first wave of crypto business bankruptcies. So, Bitcoin miners do capitulation. So like others, Bitcoin miners are seeing a major squeeze when it comes to selling accumulated Bitcoin at a profit. It remains to be seen exactly how much financial pain the average miner is in, but one classic metric is preparing to call capitulation once more. And let's see, we got any... So right now, Bitcoin difficulty is really high for miners, so that means costs are getting higher, and doing business in this kind of environment is getting harder. So the thing with mining is that when it gets more complex, you're using more power, more energy, and in turn you'll have higher costs. There's been a lot of miners being turned off, a lot of people just abandoning their miners. And yeah, so he wrote, that's why miners do not work in full force. If they have efficient new generation mining machines, they put them into work, but that's all. Inflation is high and people feel effect of living costs. Bitcoin price is declining, mining costs and difficulties getting higher. Tough environment for miners. So here's the hash Robin's indicator. So this is the Bitcoin price. Then you have the hash rate, 30-day moving average, and the 60-day moving average, kind of together. But damn, it's just... Whew. I mean, wouldn't that be nice? The hash rate is so low that you're just making a killing. I mean, the difficulty is not... But then again, you have more and more miners. More and more miners. Yeah, it's more people using the network. Interesting. So they added that the significant change in mining difficulty could help the situation. Estimates from Bitcoin.com for the next adjustment on December 6th put the difficulty drop at 6.4% at the time of writing, and should it go to fruition, it will be the largest such drop since July 2021. Bitcoin.com and others likewise estimate the hash rate is now declining from record levels as miners wind down operations. Yeah. Keep an eye on the monthly close. Oh, excuse me. This is a Bitcoin monthly return guide. So from 2013 on. Looks like the worst months. What are the worst months? September. January, March. Wow. September's the worst. Oof. Actually, November looks like it's the worst because it's got the, oh, although never mind, it had a 400% gain. Holy cow. Yeah, so what will December hold? What will December hold? Let's see, what was the worst year? Oh, probably 2018. Look at that. Just 3 months of positive growth. 3 months. Any other ones? No. 2014 was pretty bad. Not so much, not so much. Yeah, 2018 seemed to be the worst year. So, yeah, we'll see how. Yeah, these are all just a bunch of metrics and stuff. Trying to figure out the bottom. But really, man, you just can say is dollar cost average. Just buy a little bit here and there and play the long game. Play the long game, because where are we going? Where are we going? Let's see this right here. 24. What? Probably about 25. 26. Yeah. Well, let's see what we got here on the Bitcoin. Corn. It's got the juice. Coming out of that point of control. Yeah. Just kind of hanging out. Might be. I don't know, man. Looks. Let's see, let's do a little something right here. Do a little something right here. Where are we going? Where are we going? Is this going to be a falling wedge? Are we going to break out? Falling wedges break out. What does he say? 68% of the time? And the rising wedge will break down 68% of the time? Yep. Just keep an eye out on this. Whether or not we might break up on out of here. Yeah, just be safe. If you're going long, keep your stops in the green. That's the idea, isn't it? Alright, let's see what else we got here. Ethereum. I know Litecoin recently got a big pump above the POC, so Litecoin don't have a ton of volume up here. I mean, there's some, you see right here. Oof. Ooh, yeah. You don't have a lot of volume keeping you from breaking out right here. Look at that. Next stop is that high point of control, or value area high, I'm sorry, and value area low. Yeah, you got a nice little pop up if you can. Ooh. Yeah, low volume. If we can get a pump out of Bitcoin, Litecoin's going to have a nice run. But, alright, I got to get out of here. Got shit to do. But I appreciate y'all for joining me today. And I hope that you weren't exposed too bad to BlockFi, FTX, and all this crazy shit. It's a nightmare. But I hope you guys stay safe out there. And don't put all your eggs in one basket. With that being said, this is the Blockchain Report. You have a wonderful day. Until next time, peace.